Hi, I'm Michael Bartlett, and I've been running for about 5 years now, and I'm training for a goal of a 135 half marathon in Myrtle Beach on October 17th.
Hi, my name is Jack Stevenson. I've been running for on and off about 20 years, but more seriously here in the last 4 to 5 years, and everything he just said, 135 Myrtle Beach in October. Looking forward to it.
Hi there, my name is Joel. I'm running the Georgina Marathon on October 17th with a goal of qualifying for Boston with a time of 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 10 seconds.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to DevRunner. My name is Paul. I'm a certified running coach, and this, believe it or not, is episode 12. Yes, we are a dozen episodes into Chasing PRs. This series follows the runners that are on the screen with me as they execute training plans that I've designed to help them reach their racing goals for October 17th, 2021. I'll be sharing running tips and advice to help everyone become a faster, stronger, and healthier runner. So please like, comment, subscribe, and ding that bell so that you get notifications whenever I post. You can follow everyone on screen on Strava. You'll find all those links in the show notes below. Now, before we get into it, I just want to warn you, we've got a lot of big news this week, but nothing that these guys can't bounce back from. You can tell that they just went through the toughest week of their training cycles. And to get right into it, I'm going to go directly to Jack to tell me the story of the last 7 days of training for him. Jack, how you doing?
Yeah, so kind of rewinding all the way back to last Monday. Started out Monday with our typical recovery run from the 13-mile, the 14-mile aerobic run from the Saturday. So went well on that. Then jumped right into Tuesday. Again, we flip-flopped the intervals on the track intervals for Tuesday, Thursday, just pending on what we thought would be some weather issues. But it looks like this week our speed days, at least for mine, I know Michael, I think, got outdoors once, but both of mine were forced into the old our friend Shreddy at our local Y. So Tuesday's run, it was our typical stride day, total of 6 miles. Ran right beside Michael on that one. Really no problems on that. Felt fine afterwards, went about the day. Came back out on Thursday, was really hoping to either find a track or the park that we have been talking about in the last couple of episodes. But again, it was a slop fest rain out there. And I just did not want to have to bear through the rain on Thursday. So I went back to the track and did my intervals there, and actually felt pretty good there. It was a two 800s, a 1600, two 800s, bookend by two 400-meter runs, and went pretty well particularly for the treadmill. The 400-meter, the first one did 130. Cool. The 800-meter 258. Second 800 meters 255. 1600 was a 625. Very pleased with that.
Nice.
Coming back down the ladder, 800 250, 800 239, and then finished the last 400. 117. So
man,
the legs felt pretty good that day. I hadn't felt like that much speed in a while, so I was happy about that. Friday,
let me interrupt you there. Let's talk about this a little bit.
Sure.
Man, so your last 800 was a 239.
Yes.
Nicely done, sir. Man.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, that kind of goes back to I was starting to feel like my old high school days. That's what I ran the 800. That was the key event back, over 20 years so ago now. So,
good for you to still be able to hit those speeds. Good for you.
It was good. It was good to kind of explore my way back down to that. Well, it was, but again, on the treadmill, I mean, it was not a lot of resistance on there. So either I had to run or I was going to fall off the belt. So you didn't have time to slow down or anything like that.
Gotcha. Cool. I like that. Did you say 117 for your last 400?
Yeah, 117. Yes.
Nicely done, man. Nicely done.
So we'll see. We'll see tomorrow or this week how it compares out on a real track. But overall for the treadmill, I thought it was pretty good. It's a little difficult on those, like, because you have to really ramp yourself. It takes a while for the belt to get ramped up between the intervals. So I was toying around with that, and so we were just trying to make the best out of it of a rainy day. So I just didn't want to lose the speed workout that day.
Yeah, well, good for you. Good.
Going into Friday, again, easy run. What was it? 5 miles. Quick and down and dirty. Just ran around the neighborhood there. And then Saturday for the big Kahuna, Michael and I went together and did a normal route that we've done for many times, and we encountered a very hot and steamy Saturday morning. Michael, I know, has all the science behind it, but I think dew points were in the low to mid 70s. Humidity was touching around 90. So it was once that sun crest over the horizon, it was not the most pleasant situation and on the body. So we made a decision before the run to run the first I think it was the first 7 miles easy outside, progressively increasing speed with each mile, and then ran one of the first mile of the 7 at half marathon pace. And and then we went from there to, we were going to run the last few on the treadmill and the track, just so we're in more of an environment that's a little more conducive for hitting those sorts of those speeds and the air, so we can breathe. So everything went really great with me. It was an interesting day in general. The first part went really well. Michael and I were just trucking along, great conversation. Once I hit the time to go race pace, I started experiencing some really wackiness with my watch. And so my watch had somehow flipped from my splits to showing my average pace for the entire run. So I gradually picked up way too much speed on the first race mile, or half marathon pace. I think I ran something like a 6:54 mile, mid 6:50, where I should have been running 7:15. And so, but my watch, I didn't know it was not on split, it was on average. So I thought I was going a whole lot slower than I actually was. So that was just a really crazy mode. But anyway, got back to the treadmill. Started on that, ran the first one, 7:15, and then I looked at Michael and I said, I knew my body it could not do the treadmill, so I opted to go back outside.
Wow.
And unfortunately, I think with all the starting and stopping, like, my brain was saying one thing, but my body was thinking, because I had stopped, my body had started saying, okay, run is done for the day. So it took me a while to get that momentum back up to speed. Got it back up to speed a couple miles in, and then I ended up getting a phone call on my watch from a family member, blowing my phone up. So after about 3 rings, missed calls, I figured it was probably important for me to stop and take the phone call. Wasn't near as important as, I guess, what things could have been. It could have waited, but with 3 straight calls, you just wanted to make sure everything was okay. So did that, forgot to stop the watch.
Okay, that explains that last mile.
That explains what it looked like a cool down was not a cool down. It was actually that, but the watch kept rolling, and then I thought I started it but stopped it, and then ran all the way back without any time. So it was a very weird Saturday, a very weird mix, choppy, you name it. But looking forward to just moving forward and seeing what happens this week.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are 12 weeks in, and weird stuff happens in everything in life, especially the more times you repeat any activity,
I mean,
You're inviting something. So.
it was like anything like out of my control that could kept going on, like it did. It was in that few hours, and yeah, I mean, I was exhausted mentally by then, and my again,
Yeah,
I think
and all that changing of environment, and then having to head out into worse heat and worse humidity at the end there, just like, yeah, it's just there's a certain point where it's smarter just to walk away than it is to try to keep pushing. So
yeah. Yeah, I think, and I was to that point. I was like, I was like, what else in the world can go wrong? And I get back to the why. Michael's already gone. I'm like, where are we going? Where are we doing with this?
yeah. But overall, a good week. It sounds like. I mean,
well, overall, pretty good weekend. Particularly, I was really happy with the speed workouts. I was happy to get up, to be able to get up to that speed and sustain as well as we did last week. And we'll see how the track goes this week out in a real track environment, and hopefully that'll push me be in good shape for the weekend.
Yeah, gotcha. So yeah, just to give everybody watching a little bit of perspective, that long run that you just just kind of muddled your way through there last Saturday was the last of the real long runs, that and the last of the big long distance challenges for both you and Michael. And this week, you guys are get a rather sizable drop in the total mileage for the coming week, but you guys are up for the challenge of, rather than the usual structure for your coming week, there's going to be a lot more rest days involved, because you are preparing for a 5K time trial this coming Saturday. And just before I let you go, Jack, I just want to get your thoughts on that. How do you feel about going into this? What do you if you had to put a number on what you think you are capable of running on Saturday? I mean, are you even capable of giving me a number, or are you just winging it?
Gosh, no, I hadn't been timed, nor have I ran anything like that since the time we did that. What was that, back in December? And in the 21 degree, but it's just going to all come down with me and these middle to longer distance run. I think I got the speed, Paul. It's just going to come down, and do I have the endurance to maintain it?
Yep.
So that's where it's going to all come down.
Well, let me ask you this: do you feel stronger than you did last December?
Absolutely. I definitely feel the fitness level stronger. I'm healthier. I remember last year I was just coming off of that pulled glute muscle, and I feel healthier. I think both Michael and I mean, the running that we've done and the training that we've done, I can tell just running alongside of them, we are much stronger than I think we were a year ago.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, because that's all I see from you guys. And I'll give you both of you guys some final thoughts after Michael gets a chance to talk about his week. But before we do that, I want to talk with Joel and talk about how the last 7 days were for him, because I know it was a little bit of a physical and emotional roller coaster for you, sir. So let's talk about your past week in running.
Sure. So I took Monday off, as I normally did. So Monday was the first day after my half marathon, and pretty sore. Like I could feel my the left hamstring. Yeah. So Tuesday morning I went out, and I got about probably, I don't even know if I made it probably about a kilometer, and it was pretty bad. It was pretty painful. Just lifting my leg, just sort of kicking back with my left leg was a challenge, and I knew I'm going to pull the plug on the run.
Yeah, good for you.
Went home, we talked. You suggested I take the next day off, which I did. So I went out on Thursday, and it was I got about a kilometer into the run, and my whole it was, I could feel my hamstring just swell right up, to the point where I could feel my calf getting pulled. Like it was bizarre. It was bizarre. I've never had
the whole thing was like Charlie horsing on you.
Yeah. I could feel, like, every step I could feel not only was the hamstring just blown up, but I could feel like my calf pulling.
Yeah.
So I stopped, went home again. We talked again. I took the Friday off. I went in for a massage on Saturday. Yeah, so I've been to the guy a few times, and he's at Connor Chiropractic. He's an RMT that works in the office where my chiropractor and the running group coach works, and he spent about 45 minutes on my hamstring and leg, which was quite an experience. Like, I've never had 45 minutes.
Yeah, concentrated.
Concentrated on my leg. But it felt like it was, there was definitely, I could feel where the issues were. And so the next day, I should go back to earlier in the week. So at this point, not running is a complete, like, I couldn't even focus. Like, I was sitting, I was just sitting trying to work, and just after all this time, being active every day, to suddenly have no activity. It was
wrecks your entire state of mind and your routine, everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And just being able to sit still and just work. I was like bouncing off the walls. I couldn't sit still. I'm wandering around. So I got on the bike on Sunday. I have a Wahoo trainer, and I spent a lot of time on it over the last year or so. But since we started this training, like the last, 2.5 months or so, I haven't been on it at all. I've just been focusing on running.
Okay.
So I was a little worried, like, what's this going to do? How's this going to feel on the hamstring? And it felt fine. I could feel it, like, kind of a stabbing pain once in a, like, very, like, intermittently, and then it would be gone.
Okay. So all right. So things are still, not ideal down there, but it sounds like the massage calmed things down a lot.
It did. And when I say that, like, it wasn't like the sensation from running. It was just like activating the hamstrings on the bike. It was different than what's kind of activating during the run. So it wasn't really irritating that problem area the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be far less intense. Yeah.
I just mean, I could feel it, like, once in a while. It was just a random, like, little surge of discomfort, and then it would go away. But today I got on the bike, and we talked earlier today, and you said try it again a little longer, and I had, like, no discomfort at all. Like,
perfect.
I was so happy at the end of this ride. I can't tell you.
Yeah. So you're back in the right. You're moving in the right direction again.
Oh yeah.
Doubtless.
Yeah.
For me as a coach now, the tough part is trying to find the balance and not making sure that I do not push you back to where things start getting critical again. I have to try to keep you just under that threshold and give your body a chance to just kind of take off and heal itself.
Yeah. I mean, having said that, though, I mean, I want to,
I know you want in. But
yeah.
I'd rather slowly ramp you back over the next week than have you. I do not want to be sitting talking on next Monday night going, "Oh, you're blown up. You're screwed." You know what I mean? There's just not enough time left. I'd rather,
So you're right. That is the correct approach. But then, the counter to that argument is, all right, here's the goal. We kind of have to, at this point, it's to hit the goal. We kind of have to.
Yeah, no, I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going, and I know exactly where your worries are. Here's the way I'm looking at this. We've got just a hair under 4 weeks before your goal race. So what's going to happen with the remainder of this week? Tomorrow, I'm going to be sending you out for a very easy run, and we're gonna then you're gonna get a full day's rest, and then we're gonna test you at speed for the first time with a tempo run, a very short tempo run. Yep. And if all goes well, then you will get the opportunity to run a long run, a semi-long run on Sunday. And then next week, if all goes well, then next week will seem like a very normal week for you. And you're only going to get a 2-week taper going into your race, which I think is going to be fine. It's not going to overly fatigue you because the rest of your body, even though we've had to rest your leg and your hamstring, the rest of your body has been getting a good old time, recharging during all of this.
Yeah.
So it's not like all of your systems are going to be raring to go, even with just a 2-week taper. So that's not where the concern is.
Right.
The next week and a half, as far as I'm concerned, my job as a coach is to maintain what you have and give you the confidence that your body's ready to just kick some butt by the time you hit taper. There's going to be speed work in the next week and a half for you, probably three speed related sessions, but none of them are going to be intense track style, all out balls to the wall kind of. They're all going to be like tempo work, where you can move safely, prove to yourself that you're capable of running faster than marathon pace whenever you want it, but we're never going to slam you hard.
Right.
And even if I did feel like you were strong enough, if something happened today to prove that your hamstring is no longer going to be an issue, I would not see the point, frankly speaking, in pushing you to anaerobic threshold anymore, because frankly speaking, we're kind of right out there on the verge of you not being, there's not enough time between now and race day for you to see the benefit from it anyway. You know what I mean? Maybe one more workout, if it was able to happen this week, would be like the last time it would be feasible anyway. So right now we're just going to kind of remind you and remind your body of just how fit you actually are. And then you're going to go into taper, and trust me, dude, you proved last weekend at your half marathon that you have the fitness that it's going to take to run that marathon.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of, and I know you have, and, I think we've all been through this before where, I mean, it just becomes a complete, I'm trying to think of the correct term. I'm thinking of mind.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's a game of nerves.
Yeah.
Because I've gone into races before, very rarely, 2 or 3 times I've gone into a marathon knowing I had it. I was so above the level I needed to be to hit my goal. But it doesn't matter. Once that taper starts, it's just butterflies. It's just mind games, and you just start doubting yourself. And
I agree. The taper is always that way. But even when things go wrong, I like right before the Berlin Marathon, like 3 weeks before, I got the flu, and oh my God, it was the worst. It was the worst. Like it just makes you crazy just trying to get healthy. And then I missed my last long run, and
But the thing to keep in mind is missing one long run is going to have no effect.
I know, but it's a mental thing, right? Like a lot of this is mental.
Of course.
And your confidence just gets wrecked. And these things do happen.
I'm glad you bring that point up, though, sir, because like I alluded to last week when I was talking to you guys, we're going to spend the last 2 weeks that all 3 of you guys are on taper. I think these meetings are going to be all about mindset, rather than me presenting the video that I talked about a couple of weeks ago, where I do a whole dedicated video of my own about this stuff. We're going to run through it all together. And I want to, because that gives me the opportunity to field any questions that you guys have, take your feedback about, oh, that sounds like bullshit to me, Paul, and we can find ways to make it work specifically for each of you, all 3 of you as individuals, because there's going to be some things that one of you is going to love that idea. The other guy's going to be thinking, there's no freaking way I'm doing that. You know what I mean? We'll personalize it so that you guys can have maximum, not just confidence going into your races, but you will have the literal tools, like not just, go for it, don't give up. I'm not talking about that kind of crap. I'm talking about things that you can do when you're hurting really badly in the latter miles of your race that will take your mind off of it and allow you to just finish the job strong. So you guys can look forward to that. We're going to do a lot of exploration of all the best that I've found in the last 10 years
Awesome.
to get you guys across the line.
Cool.
So with that said, Joel, thank you for being so frank about all the things that are on your mind. But I promise you will get there. You will get there, and you will get there in 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 9 seconds or faster. I promise.
Awesome.
With that said, Michael, let's finish off on a strong note here, because you cruised through this week like it was nothing, dude. And you looked so strong. And every time I talk to you, you're like, I don't know. I mean, you're just a humble guy, but man, the capstone week of this training cycle, and you just cruised through it with such incredible strength. I just can't wait to hear your version of it.
All right. Yeah. So thanks, Paul. So yeah, it was peak week for sure. It was 38 miles was on the calendar for this week. It started off a little iffy on Monday. I usually run the afternoons on Monday just due to schedule, and I got to the treadmill and got on there, a nice easy run, and I was having some pain in my Achilles, and I think it was caused by the car accident that I was in the day before.
Sounds like a likely candidate for that trouble.
Yeah, I think maybe the way I shuffled, so I cut that run short. It didn't hurt, but it just felt tired, and like I had some pulling going on there, and I was like, yeah, there's no point in pushing this run.
Yeah.
So going into Tuesday morning was supposed to be the strides. Jack and I were at the Y together, and I had just planned on running easy because of the night before, feeling that in my Achilles. And Jack got there and he started doing his strides over beside me, and I'm like getting jealous and like maybe I should be doing strides. Anyways, I had ran about three miles maybe, and my Achilles was feeling fine, so I did some strides. I didn't do near as many. It was supposed to be 10. I think I did 6 or 7. But it felt good. I got up to speed, and I didn't have any issues there.
Good.
Let's see. So then I did the track the very next day on Wednesday.
Wow, good for you.
And that went really well. I was out there by myself, so it was sort of a grind. I did, let's see here. So as Jack said, it was a 400, 2 800s, a 1600, 2 more 800s, and then a 400. So I ran a 89 for the 400.
Nice.
And then a 312 and a 308 for the 2 800s, a 632 for the mile.
Nicely done.
And then, as usual, a little bit slower on those next 2 800s. It was 315 and 312. And then I brought it back for the last 400 and ran 90 seconds.
Good for you, man. I love the fact that there's like, this is true of you and Jack. The variance in your repetitions is very small. You guys have over the last few weeks learned how to dial in your target times, and I'm just glad to see that kind of consistency. It shows that you guys are deep into a training cycle, and yourselves well now. And that is one of the big things that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks, is being able to look back on your experiences throughout the training cycle and use that as a source of confidence when you're racing. So well done, sir. Let's talk about your long run.
Yeah, so that was a good workout into the long run. So we did have to split that run. It was 15 miles. We had planned to actually do 8 miles outside and then 7 miles on the treadmill. We sort of started out and we sort of called an audible, and we was like, all right, let's do 9 outside and then do that last mile, fast, because we were supposed to do 7 miles at race pace. So we're like, we'll do the last mile, which is somewhat downhill back to the Y. So we felt like it would be manageable in the heat.
Yeah.
So, I ran a little bit fast on the first probably 6 miles from where I thought I should have been. So I definitely felt like I paid for that. And then I ramped a little bit. Let's see here. So I got to definitely got to race pace the last mile. So I ran mile 8 was a 7:52. So, I was definitely building pace.
Mhm.
And then the 9th mile was a 7:05.
Nice.
So that was about 10 seconds fast. But like I said, it was downhill. But I definitely felt that when I got on the treadmill running, that 10 seconds fast.
Okay.
The treadmill went really well. My legs were super tired. I've only ran 15 miles one more time in my life. So, I was just beat. I felt fine in my, my cardio felt good. But as far as my legs, they were super tired. I held the pace. I ran 7:13s,
Awesome.
the whole way, but I did take a breather. I ran 3 miles on the treadmill, and I paused for like a minute or so to like catch my breath, because my legs, I felt like they were just going to fall off.
I know the
And,
feeling.
and then, I started it, I started it back up, and I finished the last 3 at pace. So, I didn't falter on the pace at all.
Good for you. Good for you.
I was proud of that. Really, really encouraged by that 15-mile run.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And this is true. You brought up a good point, Michael, and this is true for both you and Jack, well, Joel for that matter as well. But that last long run, it was supposed to leave you, ideally, was supposed to leave you wiped. It was supposed to leave you feeling like there's nothing left to give. I'm sore pretty much everywhere. You shouldn't, like, not pain, but pretty much like if somebody had forced me to go another couple miles, I would have, you should have felt like you just probably wouldn't have made it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like that's what the peak of a really good training cycle feels like. Because even though over the next 2 weeks you guys are going to be concentrating a lot on speed, those distance challenges have pretty much come to an end now. And this is where you see that sort of speed will come to the fore. But with that lack of overall distance for each week and lack of long runs from here on out, your body will recover quickly. And then once you hit the taper 2 weeks from now, that's when your body's really going to get a good chance to start making all those muscle reparations, etc., that it needs to make in order for you guys all to feel fresh on race day. Now, I don't want to stray too far off topic, but one thing that you can expect, especially in that first week of taper, you guys are all going to be probably feeling a lot of weird kind of ghost pains that just come out of nowhere in your muscles, and it's going to scare you, and you're going to think, oh my God, I'm supposed to race a race in 7 days and I feel like crap. And where did this thing come from in my quads, and what's going on with my back, and all this just weird stuff. But that's all coming. Those are just kind of like below the surface muscle issues that have been there, but you haven't really noticed them because there have been bigger pains building up over the weeks. And that's kind of like your body's way of saying, hey, check this out. You're feeling the pains while I'm going through the healing process. So that's totally normal. hopefully, if we've timed things right, and if we've pulled back from the intensity well enough, by the time you're like 5-6 days out from the race, you should start feeling pretty darn rested. You should start to feel almost a little bloated, because the lack of volume of exercise that you're used to, it just comes down so far, and your body starts taking on water, because
I have that now. It's great.
yeah, well, exactly, because you've been off of things for like 5-6 days, and that's exactly what happens during a taper too. Is you'll even if you start pulling back on the amount of calories you take in, which, guys, that's something you have to start thinking about now, because for all of you, your weekly mileage is starting down now. Consciously start, like, whatever you got to do, eat more fruits, eat more greens, more vegetables, whatever it takes, but start taking in less calories every day, because you're not expending as many. Otherwise, you're going to start to see a weight gain, and it's going to have a negative effect on the race. So, but those are the kind of things you have to expect as we start lessening the mileage and start preparing for the taper. Just take your calorie count down so that you don't, put on extra pounds before race day. That's the last thing anybody wants. So, with that said, guys, there was something I wanted to get. I just wanted to get your thoughts, Michael and Jack, going into your 5K time trial this coming weekend. How do you feel? I know Jack feels stronger than he did last December, last time we ran one, but Michael, what's your perspective?
Yeah, I feel stronger, but I do feel tireder. So we'll see how that equals out. I would like a PR, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I also don't want to break myself going into this half, because I've been training for a 5K, not.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think you guys need to treat this thing mentally as a good test of where you're at. I think it's possible. I think either one of you guys have the possibility of going sub 20 on this thing, which I know has been a long time goal for both of you, but that may happen. It may not. I would not make that your primary target for this. Run within your means. Don't try to fry yourself out there. But with that said, I also want to give you guys the vote of confidence that I think you deserve, because I have no doubt the two of you are going to PR. Going sub 20, I think that's we'll see. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, not a big deal. Just like Michael said, you guys are going to be running on tired legs, so no big deal if it doesn't happen. Mid training block time trials are usually not a good place to set mind-blowing records, but as long as you are close or a little better to what you've done in the past when you're rested, if you can get close to that, then you're in stellar shape once you get your taper under your belt. So if you guys are running a low 21 minute or a high to mid 20 minute 5K this coming weekend, that should be nothing but a confidence building situation for the both of you. So with that said, guys, I don't want to belabor this meeting any longer. Jack and Michael, get the rest where you can, because that time trial will be exhausting. And Joel, I want you to go into this coming week with confidence, because you've already run your time trial. You've already proven you've got the strength and stamina that it takes to run your marathon and earn your BQ. It's just a matter of maintaining from here on out, and we've got a solid plan to keep you maintaining your fitness. So all three of you guys are in a good position. So as a coach, couldn't be prouder of you guys. You've gone through a dozen weeks and killed it so far. And now we're into the part where we're just maintaining, so just to overuse the word, just stay confident. Know you all have what it takes. We'll get in a few more speed sessions over the next couple of weeks just to keep you guys nominal. And then it's just time to rest. And we'll build the mental game from there so that you guys go in and destroy on October 17th. So guys, thank you. Any last thoughts from any of you guys?
I don't have anything.
No, nothing. All right, it's been a long night, a long day. So guys, thank you so much. And everyone out there, get healthy, stay strong, and keep pushing. We'll catch you next week as these guys report back on their time trial. And Joel, I'm sure, will be telling us a lot more about how he's feeling a lot better and a lot stronger. So with that, everyone, have a great night. Peace out.